Hi, right folks, welcome back to Glesga News. Well, something a wee bit different. What I've got here is an overview in terms of air traffic in the Glasgow area, and it's interesting in the sense that it kind of shows you where the demonstrations are or what the police aircraft are doing. Now, in the picture here, you've got this aircraft here that's in yellow. The one in red over there is, let me just have a look. That's a Hungarian Air Force plane that's just arrived at Glasgow Airport. And there's been an awful lot of military planes. Yesterday we had Air Force One and lots of various nationalities. Here's another one here. Well, that is the Hungarian one. It's called an area.Dienst German Bombardier Learjet. So obviously some bigwigs came in for Germany in this Learjet. But the two aircraft I'm particularly interested in is the one that's just come up in yellow. That's a police helicopter. Now, there's that one, and then there's the other one, which is a police aircraft, a plane. Now let's look at the plane first. You can see by the circles in the flight path that he's orbiting a specific area, so he's watching something in particular here. Now I know there was a Greenpeace ship that was allowed to come up the Clyde and berth, so it may be some activity there, or more likely it's in relation to this cruise liner that's been berthed just opposite the COP26 conference area. And this liner is quite a luxurious liner. There's the name of it, the MS Silja Europa. It's set to dock at the River Clyde, and it's here already. And it's very luxurious, and apparently it's housing a lot of the dignitaries that are going to be there. I mean, for all I know, Prince Charles is there today, along with Biden. I don't know that for certain, but the fact that there's an aircraft orbiting that all day tells me that there's high value people there. So I think that's more than likely why the police aircraft is orbiting that particular section of Glasgow. So let's just come back out again and we'll go and look at the helicopter. So let's select the helicopter, and then we'll come down towards the helicopter and we'll see where they are in relation to where COP26 is being held. Now, COP26 is being held over here, but the police helicopter is orbiting in the centre of Glasgow. Now, what that tells me is there's a demonstration or a lot of activity in the centre of Glasgow. And if I come down closer, we'll be able to see exactly where they are. So I think what we've got here is a demonstration. This is George Square. This is a main area in Glasgow. So the helicopter's orbiting this entire area. So there could be something happening in George Square or around the Merchant City area. Right, he's focused quite a lot on this street here, round about here, George Street, Ingham Street and George Square. So it kind of lets you see where the action is. Yesterday, all the action was taking place here. The police helicopter that you can see, the police aircraft that you can see over here was completely orbiting the SEC Centre all day. And then at the end of the night, what it did was it escorted a military helicopter which stopped here and then flew out towards Edinburgh. So I don't know who was on that, but they went for a considerable distance escorting the helicopter. So I would suggest that there's either dignitaries over here or there's an issue there that the police are monitoring, but there's not much happening in terms of dignitaries in the SEC centre down here. It must be just business as usual here. People have either moved off or there's no security issues. Now the helicopter, the military helicopter came from Glasgow Airport, stopped at the SEC, and then this plane continued to orbit above the helicopter as it flew low level away out this way towards Edinburgh, and I think it stopped about here. Sorry, about here. But you know, it's interesting. Obviously, this I can come out further and I can look at other issues. Now, anything in red is military. So let's look at this. So that's a US Air Force. Now that is like Air Force One, but it's actually a 737. So let's have a look at that. That's obviously been involved in it. See? That plane accompanies Air Force One, wherever Air Force One has been. And I know it came over from Rome, that plane. So I wonder where the American is going. I know that, as I say, yesterday they ended up in Belfast. That was last night. I think we'll leave it at that. As you can see in this picture, before we go, what we've got here is the Swedish Air Force. It's a Gulf Stream, obviously, leaving Glasgow Airport, heading home. What have I got here? That's the Royal Australian Air Force. It's an Airbus, massive plane. So there must have been quite a delegation from Australia here. And that's just another Royal Air Force. Anyway, we'll leave it at that. As you can see, in yellow, the police helicopter and the police plane have now moved positions. The plane is now moving the orbit around this area. I think you get the general idea. So anyway, if you like the content, hit the like button, share and subscribe, because that's all I've got to say about that. Peace out. How dare you!